We're gonna have another exciting video today. I'm going to do makeup comparison between these two palettes. This is a brand new Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. And also, who doesn't remember this one? Glam palette. This is her, I think it's one of the best sellers. And this is a palette, especially if you are working as a makeup artist, you would love this color story. Anyways, my eyebrows are done. My base, it's on, but always have to make sure it's not creasing. Anyways, we are going to start. And I will start this eye with the I Need a Nude palette. I'm gonna grab a blending brush. And I'm gonna start with the shade Fair. I've already done swatch comparison between these two palettes, but it's not the same to create a look with certain palettes to compare with the other one. And just to show you the swatches, because even sometimes swatches can be deceiving, it is way different when you blend certain eye colors with each other. So as I believe this would be really helpful for you to see what the difference is, what you can get from certain palette. I do enjoy these videos comparing not only same brands but the different brands as well, or brands that do have like really similar color stories, so that you can choose for yourself what you prefer. Anyways, I'm doing kind of contour that goes towards my nose. This is not classic cat eye technique, but this is some kind of combination that I'm doing today. I'm going in with a light shade. Maybe at first you would think like, okay, I barely can see anything in here. But the thing is, the next shade will apply easily, it will blend easily, and that is one of the major tricks what I do whenever I am, even when I'm working with my students. The thing is, the easiest way to blend something is to have lighter shade before and then you go with the darker, because it will easily blend. Next, I'm gonna go in with the first shade, and that is shade Stone. And I'm connecting this shade with the previous one. What I'm doing right here is like high cut crease, and it's not going to be super sharp cut, but rather it's going to blend in beautifully with the rest of the look. Now I feel like I need smaller brush, and same shade but a smaller brush. As always, take your time to blend everything. Now if you want to go with a little bit deeper shade, you can use shade Tender. That's what I'm going to do. If not, you can leave this depth as it is. Now I'm taking different, this is a bit harder brush. It's not fluffy like a blending brush, and I love this one for blending the edges of the certain eyeshadow. For the transition, this is bullet brush. Anyways, now I'm gonna go in with the shade Fair again, and that one is gonna go right into my inner corner to lighten it up. And I'm having a lot of, see, whenever you're using her matte eyeshadow formula, you do have a lot of kickback, but something that doesn't bother me that much. I just take the excess off. Even though I'm not using Vaseline and cutting the crease or using my P. Louise paint, you still can get pretty sharp looking crease, and it's way easier. I mean, it's by any means it's not the same, but it still looks pretty good. If I'm doing some creative makeup look, then I'll definitely go for that. On the other hand, from Natasha Denona Glam palette, I'm gonna be using this transition shade right here. I hope it's not going to be too gray. This is truly transition shade. One shade that I miss in this palette is definitely lighter shade like we have in new I Need a Nude palette. And I'm just repeating the same process. So first going with this transition shade. Well, it's not too gray. Yeah, I do miss like skin like lighter shade in this palette. We do have a lot of shimmers, and we do have a bit less mattes in this Glam palette. So I really appreciate that she put better combination in the new palette. But again, this was released a couple of years ago, I believe. I haven't even checked the release date. And also this palette, I haven't tried it when this one launched. I think I tried this one for the first time less than 2 years ago. I'm going in with the shade Crease, but I definitely do want to add a little bit of warmth in it, so that's why I'm going in with the shade Blend on top of previous shades. Again, I'm taking this bullet brush, going in with the shade Blend. Now for my transition, I'm going in with a transition shade right here, which for a fact I know even if I'm lighter, this shade wouldn't work for me. At the moment, it might be on the edge of working for my skin tone at the moment as a highlight. Well, not really, but I wanted a matte inner corner. Usually I do make like shimmery inner corner, and that makes a lot of sense, but today I want a matte. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go in with the shimmer, unfortunately. These palettes are gorgeous, good quality, great color story. That's one thing Natasha does. She does great color story, but at the same time, in my opinion, they do have a couple of flaws. Couple of things I wish they are done differently. For example, in the new palette, I realized that we don't have specific shades for the rosy undertones. My god, this liner right here, it felt like it took forever. Anyways, I'm creating a liner with the MC Gel eyeliner number 77. I already put my liner in my waterline, upper waterline, and now I'm going to apply liner on my lash line. So it should end somewhere somewhere here. I usually do love to mark where the end is, especially if I'm doing something like this. I applied inner corner and waterline of the camera because that way it's way easier. It's really hard for me to focus while I'm doing that and filming. And I can always erase this bottom line. And now I can take a Q-tip and do this. I'll make it sharp later. But for now, trying to match everything and just to make everything looking sharp as possible. This took me so long, unfortunately. Anyways, we're gonna start from the darkest shade first. And on this side, I'm gonna be using Silhouette. First going to pack eyeshadow, take the excess off. If this is beginning, this is the end. This is going to be my middle point, and from here, I'll start to apply the color. I already know that the shade from the Glam palette is a bit darker. You know what? I was thinking to combine some of the Natasha's eyeshadows palette that I have and to combine my perfect eye makeup look with them. That would be good. That would be fun. I would love to do that. Anyways, the reason why I started from the middle, if I start here, then where I'm going to blend. So always think whenever you're blending something to leave the space for the blending around. Now with this tiny brush, just going to spread the color. The important thing is whenever you're working with the dark shades, darker the shade, smaller the brush. This is gonna be nice. Once I blended this color, I'm going to repeat. See how can you, once you blend, how can you again pack the eyeshadow? Usually what I do love, and I always say that, I do like to have opacity that is in the pan to have it on my eyes, but if I'm blending that eyeshadow, I will lose the opacity. So sometimes I have to go like 2 or 3 times depending on the eyeshadow performance. But yeah, so far loving this. Let me go and blend this. Haven't done this type of look in a while, you guys. I don't even remember. Like with this sharp line, usually I do love to combine this outer corner really dark. Oh wait, did I apply lighter shade on my brow bone? I don't think I did. Well, I have to do that. Shade Fair. And now I can blend this color a little bit easier. Now I want to mix. I don't like when I have to do this, but I'm going to mix Shade Tender and this shade right here. And we'll apply it right on top of the previous one. It does give me a beautiful shade. It's just that, yeah, I need to combine them together because the first shade is a little bit too cool toned. I know I went a little bit on top of my liner, but I can always go on top of it again. Sometimes you'll have to go back and forth. Now I'm using first shade again and then switching to the previous 2 shades that I've used as well. And now for the fun part, I will combine shade Mia with the Sheen. Both of them are new formulas and they are wet. Well, they are having wet effect, that's for sure. And I see them more as a toppers. Wow, these do look beautiful. Like this combination looks pretty. And I just grabbed Mia on my finger. And I'm going in with the shade Filigree just to combine this. It is a shimmery shade. The issue that I mentioned with this palette in one of my latest videos was, since I was doing only pink look, I did miss one of the shades for definitely in this palette for the type of look. I will be applying a little bit, just a tiny bit of Ella shade. And now I'm gonna go with Mia and Muse on top of it. Now for this side, I will also start with the darkest color. In this case, that is Lash Line. Pretty deep, cool toned shade. Again, starting from the middle. Now I'm going to combine Smoke and a little bit of Blend. I know it's not usual to mix these two, but the thing is, Smoke is a bit too much cool tone for what I want. Like this has cool tone palette, but still, we still do have variety in here. And like I said, I will fix my liner later. So I'm blending this one on the edges of the previous shade. Now I'm gonna apply this first shade, which is Center Eyelid. See, back in the day, she would put under the shade, she would put where the shade should go on your eye, which I think like it's really helpful, especially if you are a beginner and everything there is makes sense. But at the same time, you can do a different look and not necessarily need to follow the guideline. But in general, yes, that is how it goes. Even though I feel like she improved her formula, this palette still is high quality. And some of the shimmers in here, they are performing really, really well. And for a highlight, these are like, they are one of my favorites when it comes to highlight. But here we can see the difference in this new formula, which is really like a topper and it is more glossy. It is truly wet formula compared to the old one. Going in with the same shade. Now I'm gonna go in with this outer eyelid, which I think this one is really special undertone. Something in between purpley and brown undertone. It's hard to describe, but it's neutral and it does have a little bit of grayish undertone as well. Yeah, I think this one's pretty cool. And for my kind of inner corner, I'm gonna use this shade. This is definitely, I think this is the favorite shade from this palette for me. This shimmer is beautiful. I am going back with the shade Lash Line just to add a little bit depth that I've lost in the meantime. And I do miss highlighting here. I do struggle a little bit with this side. Now I'm gonna take Vaseline and flat brush. And before I continue, I will just clean the edge of the eyeliner. Once this side is done with the MC gel eyeliner, now I'm going in with the silhouette from the I Need Nude palette. And I'm going to create some depth in here. I'm pretty much going back and forth. Yes, I definitely need to blend this out. Now I'm going in with the shade Tender and Vogue. I also feel like this line is a little bit too harsh. I'm trying to mimic what I do have in here, and it's all about little details. Now I realize this is the first time I'm doing this with this brush. This is silicone brush from Natasha Denona, and I do love is working. Now I feel like I want a little bit deeper inner corner, but I don't know, should I do something? Anyways, I'm going to take shade Fair and just to soften the edges, because I do feel like I'm having a lot of depth in here. So once I close my eye, I love this transition, and this is mainly for the photos because I wanted to take pictures like this. But when it comes to looking like straightforward, I would do this line a little bit more subtle. Now I'm going to repeat everything on this side. I will apply Natasha's High Glam Concealer here, and today I will be trying this concealer for the first time, like the wear test. So I'm looking forward to that one. Recently I've tried a lot of concealers, and I will have comparison on my channel soon as well. So now I'm gonna start with the lash line shade. A little bit into the center. I do not wanna do a super dark lower lash line. Following same two shades that I've used, which are Smoke and Blend. Now I'm gonna take this Natasha Denona brush. This one came as a set. I think it was 5 or 6 brushes when I purchased like Lightwork 4 palette. So yeah, I've got these as a offer for buying palette. I did buy that one right away when it launched, and you know what, I'm not quite sure if you can still buy these online or it was just limited quantity of the brushes, which I do appreciate, especially for the multi-chromes. Today I'm finally going to try this High Glam concealer from Natasha Denona. I have one in shade 6N. And I'm going in first with the corrector. The corrector is for before the applying concealer, because concealer is something that will lighten up your center. It's not for dark spots. It is not for a sunspots. It is mainly just to add something to your foundation and to lighten up center for the main part center of your face, and also some blemishes. By the way, this corrector is in shade Emerge from Elon Musk, and you'll for the most part see me using this one because these undertones, it's amazing. Also around my nose area. This is technically not a foundation, it is Tower 28 concealer. I just wanted to try it to see today how it's gonna work as a foundation, since the concealer, the product consistency was pretty interesting to me, so that's why I wanted to try it. Anyways, Natasha Denona High Glam. Wow, this is having a lot of coverage. Am I going to love this? Maybe it will sheer down easily. Well, it does blend beautifully. It's like a small beauty blender. I usually love to sheer the concealer down with a beauty blender. I'm really interested to see what happens once this concealer sets. It's been sitting on my skin for 10 minutes now. I will also add some of the concealer in the center. This is definitely medium coverage, and I do believe you can build this up to the fuller coverage. Yeah, when it comes to the coverage, it does remind me of a Tower concealer. Let me just blend everything out. This is definitely nice finish. I will set this with the powers. This is definitely nice finish. It is luminous, not too much, and I will finish the rest of my face, and I will set everything, and I will be back later with the full makeup on. And here we have final look. I did add some rhinestones as well. Everything that I'm wearing I will link down in description box. Let me know your thoughts. Which side do you prefer? I need the Glam palette. I do. I need a Nude palette or Glam palette. I had a fun creating this look minus this liner that took forever. When it comes to eyeshadows, it wasn't struggle at all, but yeah, whenever we talk about the precision, it takes time. So happy that lately we have so many new makeup releases, especially when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, which are actually, those are my favorites. Anyway, thank you for watching. Before you leave, make sure to watch this video, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you. Bye.